Alright, we're going to talk about cornbread. This is probably the simplest, most basic, old southern cornbread on the planet. This is what my mother taught me to make when I was growing up, and it's still the one that I reach for first. Very, very easy. This is 1 cup of self-rising cornmeal. And if you don't have self-rising cornmeal or flour, all you got to do is add like a teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder. This is 1/2 cup of self-rising flour. I'm going to mix these together. We've got not quite a cup. I'm just over the 3/4 line and under the 1 cup line for buttermilk. It just depends on the consistency you like. 3/4 of a cup, I think, is what my original recipe called for. 2 eggs, lightly beaten. Right in there. Uh-oh, I dribbled. Now, this is where you have a departure for some people. I grew up in the mountains in East Tennessee. We don't get rid of anything, including bacon grease. And so I grew up with cornbread that had been made with bacon drippings. This is about 1/4 cup, and it goes right in there. Now, you can use a couple of tablespoons of canola or olive oil if you want to. And I have made it that way if I just happen to be short on bacon grease. But it's a great flavor. Don't skip it if you don't have to. Alright, last thing it needs, pinch of salt. And you see how fast that goes together. All done. Now, I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And you can use just a casserole dish if you want to. But I got lucky. I have my grandmother's cast iron skillet, and this is the trick to getting a really fabulous crispy crust. That, and the fact that I have, if you can see, I've got melted another tablespoon of bacon grease down the bottom, and this goes in that hot skillet and that hot grease, and that's where you get that wonderful, oh, you can hear it sizzle, crispy crust on the outside. Now, I like a lot of crust in comparison to my insides. See how it's already starting to cook? This is a 10-inch skillet. You can use a smaller skillet if you want to. That'll just give you a thicker loaf and less crust. Alright, that pops right back in there. It'll leave it alone for about 20 minutes. And when the timer goes off, I'll be back and show you what it looks like. Ready? Let's do that. Ooh, that is pretty. See? It's puffed up. It's nice and firm. You can see little tiny bits of bacon crispy going all the way through it. Now, a lot of people will serve it top side up. Nope. Let's see if I can get them loose enough in here to pull a maneuver. This is not easy to do because the pan is very hot and very heavy, but I'm going to see if I can pull this off. Alright? Because I want you all to see, get a grip, the crust. There we go. Hot, hot, hot. Okay, this, ooh, the crispy bit. Perfect. This is my mother's southern cornbread. Now, you can slice it and eat it with just butter. I know lots of country people around here will crumble it up into their buttermilk. You can eat it with pinto beans. But in this case, this particular pan of cornbread is destined for a dressing. We're going to make a sausage and cornbread dressing, and this is the first step. So I'm going to set this back and let it cool, and I'll be back in the next video and show you how to make that fabulous southern sausage and cornbread stuffing.